Well, hello. Good evening. Welcome to one of, actually, in my opinion, one of the most exciting random races actually we have in the late stage of groups. We are in group Pro AF, I see. Facing off today is Will WC facing off against zelgadissan, two really amazing runners. Will actually, has, if you were invested in the Will WC stock early, you would be planning a trip to space by now with all of the dividends that you have earned. Because, Will kind of started out, a little bit on the rougher side, almost didn't qualify. Probably like the very end, just kind of barely squeaked it into the fourth quartile. But he is on a 5-0 tear through this group, certainly hoping to secure his last win and sweep the group for the top spot in groups. Zelga, third place last year main tournament, third place cross keys, and that's even like when he doesn't have the spoiler log. Like if you have to face him in like a spoiler tournament, even Eastern Palace cannot save you. This guy is amazing. Really looking, in this case, to take a win off of Will and get himself another win on the board. I am Claire Mouse. Joined here with me today is Days Cloud, the one and only, and already has secured his top spot in his group, advancing into brackets. Days, how are you doing? Are you excited?
Just looking at what they've done on the screen here, and I'm trying my best not to laugh while you're doing that intro.
Awesome.
I'm trying my best. I'm looking over at what Zelga's got, and I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't look like his sprite. That's my sprite.
This cat has definitely been doing the laundry, and look at that. So yeah, as you can see, our awesome tracker Lady Lord Linda has already marked inverted key sanity, as evidenced by the fact that they're both starting in Link's house with that starting activated flute, heading off as fast as possible to the Mire area. Look at the sync, Days. Do you get confused sometimes when you see the Twilight Princess sprite on screen and like you're like watching?
Oh, I'm gonna be so confused this entire race. I tell you right now. I mean, this is gonna mess me up. So we're gonna start out in Mire Shed on both sides, pick up some bombs. So I feel like we're gonna be fluting back to 4. We're gonna go check out some Hype Cave in just a second here.
Yeah. I mean, right. So normally, especially in inverted, actually, the early resources are, I would say, actually much higher or underrated in this case. Actually, but never mind. We have a bit of divergence. But yeah, like the early resources, though, especially, if you've got like chess game, dig game, like money is actually, you actually just need you need something in order to get you started.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, until you get bombs, until you get money here, like you've got to try to figure it out. There's a couple of places you can go here now. Zelga showing off a couple of fun little chest turns and some other stuff here in Hype Cave, as it doesn't have anything but money. So 110 rupees is going to be good for him to do like dig game and chess game right now, but that's about it.
Yeah. And honestly though, like, early money, as you said, right? It's actually not, as bad as you, especially if you get it later, right? The two bombs definitely gave Zelka entry to Hype Cave, in which case, otherwise you would kind of be scrambling to see like, oh no, like where am I gonna go find bombs, or other resources.
Speaking of oh no, Will just picked up a Bombos medallion.
Oh no.
We just saw that Bombos is the entry to Misery Mire. Also, if we end up seeing a sword show up here, we could also get some flippers and go dive into Ice Palace and have all sorts of fun things right now.
Yeah. I was gonna say though, Zelga kind of paying homage to not only, I would say, like you Days, with this, but also, you see this not only often in inverted, we also see this very often in cross keys as well. Definitely try to farm up some early resources, gonna be able to get him some money for bombs, gonna get some money for pod, maybe another, potion or something like that if you can find a bottle.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of things that you're going to want to do here early just to make sure that you can, handle the late game, as Will tries his luck there at the 50-50 bush and gets it. So he's going to remain at 3 bombs right now. Still hasn't gone down to Hype Cave, but we know that there's kind of nothing there.
Yep. Yeah, we just get a little bit of extra, heart piece, and yeah, just a little bit of extra money. Meanwhile, though, Zelga is starting out early. We are definitely going to pick up that heart container along the way. We are going to get a confirmation potentially on Will's side if it actually is a sync heart. But of course, Zelga having full health is not going to be able to show us.
Yeah, I mean, this is this is all kind of going right now. A pretty standard inverted start here. It's just try to figure out, okay, so where is my access into the light world? I mean, there's kind of three phases to an inverted start there. Like phase one is get out of the dark world.
Yep.
Phase two is collect everything in the light world, and then phase three is finish the game as quickly as you possibly can.
Oh, okay. Well, that certainly sounds like quite the adventure. Actually, oh, looks like Will is actually maybe gonna try and get a little bit of extra money. Looks like he might be eyeing Pod, potentially. But yeah, as you said, Days, you know, and I don't really want to bring up any bad memory, especially on Zelga's side, because I believe he also did play Inverted Keys his last game, and it probably was not, you know, the best experience that he had, you know, in Randomizer, and I, you know, I believe that you are correct in that he did get everything in the light world and got out of the dark world, and he really did try to finish the game as fast as possible.
He really did. He really did. It was entertaining to watch. He's never going to forget Hobo ever again. But yeah, no, it's something that we'll have to see exactly if he decides. If he grabs some flippers at some point, if he goes, you know what, I'm going to go to Hobo now. Just right now, and even if he's in the middle of Kakariko, he stops what he's doing, mirrors and flutes over there just because it's like, this isn't happening again.
Yeah, that is, oh, yeah, the mental damage is going to be quite high. Hopefully he will play to his best ability. Unfortunately, actually, it looks like Will was trying to actually set up a statue pole, sorry, the equivalent of a tree pole, because I guess trees don't really grow in the Dark World. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like he actually killed any enemies, so that's why things, unfortunately, were a little bit empty.
Yep. And it looks like that Sank Heart that you were talking about before was actually the last one in Hype Cave today. So we're not going to be finding that anymore. So that's kind of nice to know, I suppose, for these guys. That way, you know, you don't end up on like Laser Bridge or something and go like, oh, please give me a Sank Heart. But
yeah, looks like though. Yeah, I was gonna say that Will, you know, unfortunately didn't have enough funds. Even right, this is, you know, another you know, consequence of inverted is that early money is going to be, you know, an issue. Will, luckily though, did have the flute to get back, and yeah, we also just saw on Zelga's side that the hammer was definitely a chess game. So yeah, money is important in inverted.
Definitely, and what's good is these guys kind of both showed a little bit of game knowledge there. Inverted is very different. It's just 100% different. But like the biggest thing here is that we've got both of these guys kind of showed off that if you flute to 2, there's a bomb shop right there, and you can just go if you've got money. You got money, go ahead and pick it up. And go flute over there, grab yourself 10 bombs. And to be completely honest, I did not know that until watching this. So thanks, guys.
Well, you know, good news, Days. You can use this knowledge in brackets because I believe we're gonna have the exact same 5 modes moving forward in a couple weeks.
Thanks, guys. That's this. I think Zelga is dealing a little bit of unfamiliar sprite issues right now, where he's like trying to get around things. He's like, okay, this is a little different. And as much as I love my Twilight Princess thing, she does not show a shadow, so she can be a little bit awkward to use for people. But either way, he's you know, he's good at this game. He should be all right. As we've got both guys going into different parts of Misery Mire right now. We got a small key over there from Will and something from Zelga in a minute, probably.
Right. So Will picked up the small key to Mire. I think we're actually both in Skull Woods, right? That's the palace of choice today.
I probably said something else, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. But yeah. Different parts of
well, you know, we got a bow, and you know what a bow means, Days? That means that, you know, we're one step closer to unlocking the contents of Eastern Palace, which I'm sure Zelga is just really looking forward to going into.
I mean, I'm more thinking go to Pod, but yeah, Eastern Palace is there too.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but yeah, no.
Well, we're. I mean, it is. one of the nice things about inverted key sanity is the game team tends to be very plain about what it wants you to do.
That is actually a very good point. And even though you may not necessarily like the path that it like chooses for you, Justin, inverted certainly has a reputation of you climbing the mountain multiple times, for example. But yes, I believe that logically, especially early game, it actually does paint a pretty nice picture. That, of course, as you said, that was step 1, right? Step 2 is when we get to the light world. The route is less, it's a little bit dazed, I would say. A little bit murky. We are going to collect everything in the light world.
It's a little, yeah. Once you get into the light world, it's kind of, you have to look at the items that you have and try to make a most efficient route possible. And it's not easy. Honestly, at that point.
Yes. Yeah.
It's really tricky.
Yeah, well, I mean, speaking of, potential things that could make their lives a little bit nicer, especially in inverted, the mirror, for example, does actually have, pretty high value in, not only necessarily, seeing Will here in Pod in order to get around, the different dungeons, but, a light world, dark world especially, we have a flute in the dark world, and so, overworld and light world travel is going to be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm a little, part of me is a little surprised that we didn't have somebody walk over to the pyramid. I mean, that being said, it's a long walk, but going to Pod without a small key is not great. Because if it turns out that if you have something and it's locked behind like a small key, then typically it's not that good. Now, we do have hammer. So we're able to get the first 5 items in here without really any sort of problem. But yeah, a lot of times you want to kind of come over here with a small key if you can. But in this case, not a big issue.
Yeah. And as you said, it's not like we really have that many options, right? So like the likelihood of hopefully a small key shows up later is probably not going to be that high. And of course, looking at both screens, right? Both Will and Zelga decided to come here with no small keys. So in this case, it's going to kind of like be a wash.
See, now this is where Will has to be careful because that can happen.
Oh no.
Yeah. And
Zelga
did get a small key to Pod.
He got it in Pod? No, Skullwoods?
No.
Thank you.
Yes, he went to the back of Skullwoods.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He got it in Vanilla Binky chest. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah. So actually, yeah, Zelga's gonna be able to potentially get a couple more items here in Pod. Well, there's a lamp. We can see now.
That doesn't really open up anything outside of what Will is currently doing right now, because he's gonna go do Old Man with this, and it's gonna kind of generally work out all right because it turns out that the other thing in Pod here was just 10 bombs, so that lamp was the reason that we had to come over here.
Yeah, and certainly we can't see anything on Will's screen just because, as we just see that, he doesn't have the lamp. Will is doing arguably one of the slowest checks in inverted. He is really dedicating, his good deed for the day, and rescuing the old man.
Yeah, it's not fun. This takes a long time. I mean, you can stop and read a book in this time almost. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do.
Hopefully you don't have to go talk to like the ball guy or anything. We're not interested in delaying our mission any more so than we already have to. But Will is a good Boy Scout, right? He's definitely going to earn his badge today.
I almost really want Will to go talk to the ball guy now, just because you said that.
Oh, that guy actually could, he goes potentially pretty far, surprisingly. And not that you want him to go anywhere near you, but you'd be surprised at the distance that he can, he can be thrown.
It is a bad day when he just kind of gets casually kicked right into you, and that's a Quake medallion, and a whole lot of questions from my side about what we're supposed to do now. I'm thinking we're gonna look at what's inside this spec rock. We're gonna have the first chest of Aga Tower, and then we're gonna do everybody's favorite inverted sport, Lionel dodging.
Oh my gosh, Days, that sounds actually really dangerous. Do you think there's like a professional league and like an amateur league?
I imagine so. I mean, I think you get the amateur league is when you get like some sort of like cape or something like that, and you
Oh.
can use it that way. The professional league is when you just gotta tank it.
Oh man, I
So
mean, yeah, this sport sounds pretty dangerous. Well, you know, but I guess you know, Will did get a actual some literal payoff by you know, delivering the old man back to his home and, you know, climbing the mountain for definitely not the last time. As we see Will right now, climbing the mountain for yet another time.
as we see the dramatic appearance of Sheik over on Zelga's side, taking the old man back, getting their Quake medallion as well. So, yeah, we're gonna have to go all the way up the mountain again, go fight some ball and chain guards, some other fun stuff, and then the one thing with these guys, like usually Lionel dodging in inverted is a little bit, you know, nerve-wracking because you've got like almost no health. Somehow, these guys have ended up at the beginning of this seed with a grand total of 8 hearts, which is totally normal for an inverted start.
Sure.
I mean,
yeah, certainly very fortunate. Still, unfortunately, though, no sword. You see, we do have a nice hammer, although, you know, Will is demonstrating that the hammer's hitbox isn't that great. But you know what? The mountain was pretty important because there is our moon pearl in the first chest of Castle Tower.
all right, so now I imagine we're just gonna be looking for a glove because we haven't seen any Castle Tower keys yet. So unless these things are about to show up really quickly, plus some other stuff, things don't make a whole lot of sense. Now Zelga is fluting to 2 because we're gonna go check out this pyramid first.
Oh, interesting, interesting.
Yeah, I don't hate this play here. I mean, like inverted, you kind of got to check all of your bases here. I mean, that's a bombos to get into TR over there from Will's side, but
okay.
Super Bunny,
Good
yeah. So we're
buy.
gonna figure out which one of these is the right way to go. Even if it turns out pyramid is not right, I mean Zelga at that point goes, okay, everything's on the mountain. That's a one-stop victory.
Yeah, and of course, you know, with no glove, Zelga can't really make his way over to Catfish until we can basically lift that big rock. But you know what? Hey, there's a hook shot.
Okay, now that changes things.
Well,
Ooh, fancy dress.
yeah, all right, yeah. You know, talk about doing laundry. You know, we're just getting more and more clothing, so we can do more laundry. It looks like.
Yeah, them cats be doing the laundry all over the place here.
The
It looks
cats
like.
are definitely busy tonight.
So yeah, all right. These guys are gonna head back up the mountain right now. Again, we're gonna see this amazing thing.
Are we counting out of curiosity? Because I
We're
might
on
run out of
3.
fingers. Yeah, I might run out of fingers by the end of the seed. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're on 3 right now, and so Will's gonna go ahead. This time he's gonna hop back into the portal because that hook shot means he can get over to Paradox Cave, and that is kind of where we are gonna be headed. Because we got nothing else to do right now. Now that hammer plus the hook shot does mean he can get into Meyer. Not Meyer. I keep saying Meyer. I mean Hera.
You know, it's inverted. You know, all of the dungeons look pretty much the same at this point, especially in the Dark World, because it's not like you can really see anything.
Right. We're just gonna call everything Meyer today, just to confuse everybody who's just listening. You know, you gotta watch, not just listen.
Actually, it's good motivation days. You know, it's actually a pretty big break, you know, for commentary.
There you go. There you go. All right, so Will, first 2 items in Paradox Cave, not actually anything of interest. Zelga showing off that if you smack the Lionels with the hammer, they don't like it, and they will get out of your way.
Yeah, and you know, remember earlier, like at the very beginning of this broadcast, you saying that it's the seed is actually pretty straightforward in terms of logic, basically kind of like telling you where to go. You know, like it has been certainly very kind of like breadcrumby so far. Go get this. Okay, then you got the hook shot. All right, let's now go over to this. You know, we're kind of like going really over to like one of maybe 2 or 3 possible locations, right?
Right.
Until we can get to the light world, and then we've got like 50 locations to look at.
Zelga there for a second there, trying to decide whether it was faster to walk back up through Super Bunny Cave, dodge the Lionels again to get back to the portal, or save and quit and go back to the start of the mountain. Decided to start to the mountain. Will, though, he's found his glove. So we now have a full Dark World access over on Will's side, but we got a couple more things we got to check up here. We're not done with the mountain quite yet, because up at the top, we've got a small key to Swamp Palace. That's a fancy one.
That is very much indeed a very important key. Although I guess we still don't know, because this is key sanity. All the maps are shuffled, so we actually don't know if Swamp Palace is a pendant or crystal. But it's definitely one of the small keys we'd like to have. But that big key is 100% necessary because we're definitely gonna have to climb GT today, and good thing Will found it in Mimic Cave.
Zelga is gonna have a moment of just great relief when he grabs that. I think it's just there's just gonna be like, oh, okay, God, it's not at Hobo again.
All right, so we're beginning the mental healing. That's good.
That's all you need sometimes. You just need, you get a bad seed, play another seed, it will be better. I promise.
Yes, right. But better is always relative. That is true. Yeah, but of course, we are actually in this case, watching both Will and Zelga. Well, fully exploring and getting the full mountain experience in Inverted. We can see that we're probably going to make a couple more trips just in order to make sure we get everything.
It does look that way as we're going up and down and up and down and around and around and around, and we're in Spiral Cave right now, and I'm gonna have to hold Will. I did not unfortunately get Will's master sheet of different names for Spiral Cave. I'll have to get that for him next time.
I personally like the curly fries, but the cinnamon roll was also a pretty good one as well. So.
The cinnamon roll cave, definitely it's breakfast time out here. So, but all right. We are, Zelga is doing this. Will's going to make one more trip back up through Paradox Cave. This time, we're headed over to the Tower of Hera area. Now, Zelga's going to head over there first, because I believe, if I remember right, did we see a big key sitting there on top?
We did. In fact, right. And it's actually a good reminder that you brought it up, because, as, Zelga and Will are kind of heading over to this area, this is the only way in Inverted in order to get to this area. There is no shortcut to Mirror, and so, seeing a big key early is certainly going to be very nice. In this case, big key to Ice Palace. No one has gone in yet, and you really always want that big key, so you don't have to just think about, potentially leaving that item behind.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those things where, especially in Key Sanity, like, there's the Ice Palace big key, there's the Thieves Town small key, like Skullwood's big key. There's just certain keys that you would rather have when you go to the dungeon versus otherwise. Zelga, okay, now see if you can line this up. It's actually really tricky with this sprite to line it up.
Did you tell him this before you said
I did not tell him that. I did not tell him that. But look at this pro.
Shoot,
look at that pro, nails it.
Zelga definitely knows what it will. I mean, geez, this is why this actual group is actually pretty high contention. Will and Zelga did a really, really nice job on their Hera plots.
Yeah, definitely, and big key to Thieves Town as well. So we got a couple of other things to do here. Now, I don't expect either of them to rush that immediately with the Light World open. That's one of those that you're gonna probably go check the rest of the world there. Hoping to see that you get the Thieves Town small key before you jump back in there, because especially in Inverted with Flute, like you press you press the flute, go to 3, and you walk in the door. Like it is the fastest dungeon to get back to.
We got some jammering music here on, while fighting Moldorm. Zelga and Will still swordless. Does have the sword, does have the hammer out. We are rewarded here with our first crystal on both sides.
Yeah, look at that nice sync there. Everybody holding up their stuff. I am gonna say right now, if we had switched over to Zelga's screen, we would have had some of the best music at that point.
So certainly not biased, right?
Oh no, not at all. No. I mean, I have no rooting interest in either of these. Both of these guys are buds.
Oh yeah.
So this is
that's right.
Yeah, this is just going to be fun here. So Zelga's going to go. He's got a little bit more to do. Now, Will, on the other side, does not have the lamp that Zelga has, which We'll see if that's going to be an issue. It depends really how quickly the fire rod shows up.
Right, yeah. I mean, so, of course, every confidence to both Will and Zelga, can do their, dark rooms, pretty, they're very familiar with them, but probably the more important point, as you just mentioned, Dave, is the fact that the lamp is a fire source, and they can actually light a couple torches, that can actually open some doors, and probably won't make too big of a difference if Will can find the fire rod, but until then, Zelga definitely has a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but it feels like in my head that Zelga's done the mountain a little bit more efficiently than Will. He went to Hera one time, and then came back through Spiral Cave and then to Mimic Cave, where it felt like Will did it like an additional time there. I mean. And those mountain times, it's probably, I want to say, maybe almost a good 30 seconds each time.
Yeah. Climbing the mountain, especially inverted, is not cheap. Especially you're doing it over and over too. So these things definitely add up pretty quickly.
Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to, is just how quickly can you kind of handle this stuff here. Is that in Zelga's back on the mountain.
What does he have left up here?
Oh, he's gonna go grab Hookshot Cave.
Oh, yeah, that's an excellent reminder, Dave. That's right. We did get the glove early on in Paradox Cave, but of course, no mirror means that we cannot come back to Hookshot Cave unless, well, you're doing exactly what Zelga did. Will, hopping into the light world, he got a lot of actually good stuff in Mini Multichrome, including that really nice King of Samaria. Looks like also a potential bottle as well. Our awesome tracker, Lady Lorelinda, has been catching everything. Definitely keep really being super helpful in order for us to keep track of everything here.
Oh yeah, 100%. Big shout outs to Lady Lorelinda there, clicking buttons there behind the scenes for us there. Send lots of love to your trackers, everybody, because they kind of make this watchable.
Yes. All right, what isn't Hookshot can do? We did find a compass. We got some more money. We got a heart container. Not looking too promising for Zelga. But we do get some. Our last piece is 20 rupees. We got some peace of mind though. The fact that Zelga has not basically left 4 checks here. 4 relatively, dense checks.
Yeah. No, that's pretty good here. Now it looks like we're gonna have a lot of divergence here on the way that we're gonna handle this inverted start here. It looks like Will kind of doing the way I favor, which is get your South Dark World checks really quick. And if I'm not wrong, and I very well could be, because there's lots of ways to handle this. Here. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to handle this, but what I like to do here is I like to fake flipper and go into the portal back towards CAC, but no, he's doing something else. So I just gave away all my game plan. Thanks, Will.
Well, maybe you'll just never roll inverted for the rest of the tournament days. What do you think?
I've had my one. I think that's good, right? You're only supposed to get it once, right?
Yeah, sure. For maybe large values of one, but I guess we're gonna have to wait to see what happens. Although, so I was gonna say, well, Will, though, sequence breaking out Hobo, I guess I'm kind of curious to see what's gonna be here. Nothing that's gonna harm Zelga today.
Does look that way, and it looks like since Will went ahead, he did kind of farm a little bit of money. I did catch him doing the stun prize at one point, and he did get up to 500 rupees. It looks like we might be heading towards just getting rid of Zora just right off the bat on his side.
Yeah, no, certainly very reasonable. I mean, the fact that Will is fake flippering, this is a minor glitch, which is completely legal. So getting to Zora this way certainly is not illogic. But however, we do have a glove, and so, you're always free to, walk all the way around over here. Will is just taking a shortcut.
Right. Yeah. And since you've already got the Moon Pearl coming in here, this just means you can.
That's a good point.
Automatically just walk right into swim into, and then the game gets really confused and decides that, oh, since you're in here, I suppose you can do the thing. All right. So And there you go. He's got the waterfall fairy things. There wasn't really anything
Yeah, no,
in there.
nothing really so far. I think a little bit of resources, money. Looks like also. Oh my gosh, yeah. Good job, Will, avoiding the fireball. Being in this state, getting hit is definitely not a good idea, especially if he's made quite the this trek to basically come all the way out here.
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to kind of soft lock yourself right now because the only way out of that is a save and quit. Will, you just trying to make us nervous.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just interested in trying to do some more laundry. I don't know.
Jeez, man. I mean, that was unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. Zelga though, in the back of Escape there, he's doing the North Light World checks right now, and he's gonna walk out back to Sanctuary because this is just kind of the quickest way to handle this part. Nothing in the back of Escape. Got a couple of maps though. It looked like a map to Hera and a map to something else. I don't remember what it was. So that map to Hera kind of useless at this point.
If only we had waited for the big key or something.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not gonna wait for that in this mode. That's a long trip back.
Yeah, especially right now, where it's we do have a little bit of mobility in that we are seeing a very excellent usage from both Will and Zelga to use the hook shot to try and hook on to some bushes, signs, anything that kind of like will shorten the gap right between where they are and the rest of the screen. But without boots, man, that Hera trek is something that you really don't want to do more than once.
Yeah, no, I mean Hera is just it's awful. Getting to that in inverted, like there's no good way to do it. As we pick up a cape here out of the bottom of Blind's Hub, we're going to pick up a small key to Ganon's Tower, which is good to have. You want at least one of those going in there. You'd prefer to have two. We get a map to pods, so we get to find out whether or not that's something that that's one of our dungeons there. So Zelga picking up a lot of knowledge so far without a ton of useful items.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. I mean, right. I mean, we definitely found a lot of really nice stuff, major progression items, kind of early on the seed. Right now, though, somewhat more of a dry spell. I believe, though, Days, you did mention something about fighting, everything in the light world. Like we have to do everything in the light world. These guys are very well on track to do that.
Yeah. This is that middle part of the game where we have now gotten out of the dark world, and now we need to grab everything that's just lying around in the light world, like the sword that Will's picking up here at Race Game, that big key to Skullwoods, Zelga picked up out of the well.
Yeah, we really like seeing the big key to Skullwoods, especially when we don't have a mirror in order to kind of get back there. Oh, well, that's convenient. We definitely got a nice bottle here from the bottle vendor. Not quite vanilla because it does have a very kind bee friend with us. Always good to see.
I'm gonna yell at Zelga if he gets rid of that bee. I am gonna yell at him later. But we get a powder and a chest turn there out of this, so we're gonna just basically be able to knock out all of our light world, Kakariko checks here pretty much at once. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a mirror, so we are going to kind of leave our smith chain and some of those other parts there as we pick up our second sword out of the back of the tavern.
Yeah, so 2 swords here in Light World Kakariko. Not only that, I will applaud Will for rescuing the chicken in the back of the tavern.
Yeah, nope. Shoutouts to Sailor Nep there. All right, so powder check here first because Will's gonna have to walk back with this because he came south route since he had that shovel to check there. Shovel didn't pay out for him, but I mean it's just one of those things that you want to like hold on to just in case. But 5 rupees, so that's officially I don't care.
Now, for what it's worth, though, we actually are seeing quite the rupee difference between Zelga and Will. Will, I understand, did go to Zora and already pay off his 500. But Zelga's really not going to care about the 5 rupees. But after, Will kind of, buying off another bottle from the bottle vendor, he actually might, be more appreciative of that 5 rupees.
I mean, he bombed the bottle vendor on the way by because he only had 92 rupees, even though he's about to jump into a 5-item cave with 20 rupees into it. So he's just being cruel right now. Unnecessary.
Well, you know, at least he is kind to the animals. He did also free the other chicken in Chicken Hut. So, you know, I believe he has some sort of consciousness or conscious.
Strange set of morals on this kid, eh? Strange set of morals on this kid. But either way, we're gonna push on here. Zelga's gonna pick up his Master Sword sitting here at Race Game, and then he's gonna work his way back down towards basically what we saw Will do, and Will's gonna switch over here. Now, see, what are they likely to do next? I feel like it's time to either consider that Eastern dive, the Sasharella Eastern dive, or we're gonna head into the palace itself, because we can't go into desert yet.
So Light World Mire, which is, you know, Hyrule Castle, you know, fitting for this theme, is certainly on the table. Of course, getting there in the Light World, not quite as convenient as, you know, just saving, quitting, going to 4, or, you know, fluting in order to get there, because, well, basically you're playing Light World as if you don't have a flute.
Yeah, and that gets really awkward there, because the Light World is meant to have a flute. so it is just kind of annoying there, as we find out that our 5-6 today were actually Hera and the Big Bomb. It looks like Zelga is going to go directly up to the castle right now. Nice. And we're going to get to see what the items are that are hanging out here. And the castle's just kind of got this weird logical requirement to it, where yeah, the outside here is fine, but the inside gets a little screwy.
Yeah, we're still missing the Hyrule Castle small key, right?
Right. So that means that the 2 chests there, the boomerang chest and Zelda's cell. Trying Zelda's cell with Zelda.
It is also Zelda's cell. You know, today, given that, you know, Zelda is Twilight Princess.
Right, and so if they have something, that's when you kind of have to put that in the back of your mind, because that's one of those little bits of information that you get out of a key sanity mode that you kind of go, okay, you know what, I need to remember this so I don't accidentally do something horribly out of order and like full clear a dungeon that I should not be full clearing or something.
Yeah.
But we're gonna find out here in a minute, because Zelga is working his way down to the basement there. Gets a key to Ganon's tower, and you know, onward we go.
Yeah, so Days, so right now, you know, well, I guess, yeah, it looks like we are actually continuing. What are you gonna do about Dark Cross?
Oh, you death warp and you take it if you're Zelga, because it's 100% in logic. So.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, right. So that was part of the question, because, you know, looking at, you know, Zelga's, you know, kind of tracker, you know, kept up, you know, very well to date by Lady Lorelinda, and the fact that he has 11 hearts and no mirror, yeah, the death warp is a little lengthy.
Yeah, no, it's not great. It's not great, but you have blue mail, and so it actually is not going to save you any time to go ahead and like take a bunch of hits from the ball and chain guard. So what you do is you just go kill the ball and chain guard, and then you let the green guard have the best day of his life and actually do something for once, and you let him take him out, take you out there, because ball and chain guard, he's going to do the exact same amount of damage as the green guard does.
Yeah,
but yeah, you don't leave Dark Cross in this situation.
Okay.
That would just be not good.
All right. Well, Zelga is basically going exactly as you said. This green guard is definitely going to get a promotion, you know, from Aga, I guess. I don't know who his boss is actually, but you know, he is. He's going to do about, well, in this case, you know, 9 or 10 hearts worth of damage to Zelga here. He
did well. I mean, really, you got to be proud of him. One of these times, you know, he's really come through for him. But yep. All right, so Dark Cross now, because
yeah,
nothing.
Dark Cross.
Yeah, nothing in the back. Dude, there. I mean,
actually, Days, where is all this stuff? Okay, so we did find 2 swords in Kakariko, which, you know, certainly very appreciative of it, but I mean, in terms of, like, you know, progression, right? Like, we basically have the exact same amount of stuff that we started with after we got into Light Worlds.
Yeah, that is the case right now. Now, oh, it's Will getting a little fancy with his trip to the castle right here. Look at this. Going through the part of the forest that you don't really see anybody go to unless we're doing stuff, and Dark Cross is our compass.
Man. I was gonna say, yeah, a lot of NG runners, of course, see that screen, but you know, you can tell that this is not NG because Will is walking and holding cardinal directions as opposed to using the boots.
Yep. Well, and I guess it's gonna be going to Eastern now. For Zelga, Zelga's gonna have a South Shore trip here because he didn't do South Shore yet. He went directly to Kakariko. Now, question is if he decides to go up to Zora or if he decides to go down to the other place there, up to Eastern.
This is Zelga. What do you think, Days? do you want to make a bet?
Hold on, I got the emote. Give me a second. One second. Where is he? There he is. Okay, there he is. This is my assumption of what will happen there if you look in chat.
You know, I believe there are multiple people who share the same sentiment as you.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, though. Because at some point, though, if the game just decides, hey, you've got nothing else to do, because it's not like we picked up pod keys. We don't have a dungeon that we can clear at the moment. I mean, unless you want to put all of your money on that last bit of Eastern, that last bit of Thieves Town. That one Thieves Town big key. I mean...
That's a good reminder.
You know?
That's right, we did pick up the Thieves Town big key. Right, so then, yeah, it does open up kind of like the back of Thieves Town as well. If I remember correctly as well, Will also picked up a small pod key here after Zelga's going to drain the dam. So there is potentially another option, I guess, open to pod. But I'm not really sure if you want to go back there with only one key in this case.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's not in logic, and with one key, you don't really want to jump into it there. Now Shady going ahead and Shady there in chat there mentioning we can go clear Ice Palace, which is right. We can fake Flipper and to get into Ice Palace if you want to go ahead and do that. I mean, it's not a massively fun fight, and I don't know if you want to. I mean, and you do have Red Cane, so I mean, if you're gonna do it, I guess that's a pretty decent time to do it. Now, Will having a slightly faster death warp there because he did not pick up the blue mail.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. Yeah, because one of the few checks that Will at this point is missing over Zelga is a pyramid check, and that's where the blue mail is.
Yeah, I mean, Zelga's been a little bit more thorough than Will. The couple of things that Zelga has that Will doesn't. I mean, lamp, blue mail being pretty much the main two. But
I think Zelga also found like all of the money in this scene, and that was that's like either our 4th or 5th 300 at this point. Goodbye, B. Oh no.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, Zelga. It looks like he wants to trade in that B and make way for his inside his bottle for looks like a blue potion.
I'm pretty sure I know what's happening here. I'm pretty sure I know what's happening here. Zelga is mind melded with his teammate here, and I believe we're going to be fluting to 8 and going to do a little bit of jumping into Ice Palace here. Now, not immediately going to that rock is dangerous there.
Oh wow! All right, yeah. So a recent patch kind of changed the behavior of Fake Flipper. You don't want to get hit, Fake Flipper. You can see that Will actually apparently having the exact same idea about going into Ice Palace, but he did exactly what you were suggesting, Days, is that you get on a rock as fast as you can.
There's a rock right next to it. That's an extremely safe fake flipper. And both of these guys decided, you know what? We're not going to go for the first rock. We're going to go for the second rock. And it's like, yeah, okay, you can, but that's not great.
Yeah, I guess these guys, after not finding basically anything for 20 minutes and like walking around, they want some action, right? They were looking a little bit, but good thing that neither of them went into Thieves Town because hey, look, there is the Thieves Town small key, very interesting. So actually now the whole back of Thieves Town is fully clearable.
Yeah, no, that's a big one to find right there. You get that small key to Thieves Town and you go, okay, now I have something to do. Very nice icebreaker there done by Zelga there. We'll see if Will can pull it off as quickly as he can there. But, yeah, we're going to be moving on through Ice Palace right now. Now, Will going to take a second. He's going to go ahead and hit the switch here. See, he doesn't have any small keys. I think this is still going to be a little bit slower to go ahead and do it otherwise. I mean, we're going to get a very good... a very good show of it here in a minute, as there's a mirror in here as well.
All right. Well, according to Zelga's spoiler teammate here, the game is at least playable. For some. Certainly very, very valuable. That is going to be a very excellent find here in Ice Palace. Will is going to, of course, pick it up very shortly.
Yeah, definitely here. As we also picked up a Castle Tower Small, so like once we get back up to the mountain eventually, because we'll have to go up there at some point, we should go ahead and be able to check out what's in that second chest. Now we haven't seen Lumberjack today.
Oh yeah, that is true. We of course still don't have ways to actually acquire the item on Lumberjack because we can't actually dash or bonk or anything like that without boots. But correct, we also do not have that knowledge. We do also have another pot key actually looks like here in Ice Palace. So at least for maybe that might be more incentivizing for Will to actually go back to the to pot as well.
Definitely. I mean, we got a few things there. So from when Will goes back there, he will at least get the lamp. So I mean, Fire Rod has not shown up yet, but at the same time, we haven't really had anything locked behind a fire source yet. We don't have enough. Yeah, we don't have enough Misery Mire keys to make it concerning. But we don't have a Desert Big Key yet, so it's not a big issue. But yeah. We'll see. I mean, that's for later in the race there to see if that's going to turn into a big thing. It's always crazy when you look back at a race and find out that you did something within the first 15 minutes to put yourself at a massive disadvantage.
Oh, welcome to Rando. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Although I think you also did mention that potentially Zelga's route actually through Ice Palace actually be a little bit faster than Will's. So this is actually being quite evident. Zelga is already at Cold Stare after clearing out everything. And Will, I think, is just wrapping up his last check in Ice Tea, and they're gonna head all off to the boss as well.
Oof, Zelga just focusing on one puff there and just doing tons of damage to it. Yeah, he's chasing down one.
Yeah, the blue mill is really helping Zelga here. Of course, only be able to have to take 3 hearts of damage versus like the normal 4. So,
that was a great
on Will's side, Zelga did a great job hammering. Will's gonna have to be a little bit careful, like the fast death warp they took in, Zelda's basement, Hyrule basement, is not really gonna help him here in this case. Was that the big key to Eastern Palace days?
That was the big key to Eastern Palace, yeah. So we have things to do finally here. We hit the 46-minute mark, and finally we can go do some other stuff. All right, so we get a Swamp Palace as a pendant there, and it looked like we had crystals. We already know crystal on Pod and a crystal on Skull Woods now. So Zelga is just going to be like, you know what? I got places to go. Let me go immediately over here. Now, Will is... What does Will have in his bottle? Will has a red potion in his bottle.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
I was about to say, I was like, he's fighting this and he doesn't have the red potion out. I'm like, you're being a bit aggressive.
Yeah, dying here would certainly not be a good idea, but it looks like Will's got, everything under control. He did end up being, taking a little bit of extra damage after the red potion, but, good thing he got it.
Alright, right, and we get a green pendant in Misery Mire today, so we now have 2 of our pendant knowledge.
Small key to Skullwood, small key to Turtle Rock. We got a lot of Turtle Rock keys actually so far. Actually, looking at our trackers, this is our 3rd one. So, and we have Bombos as entry, and we have a sword. So, and we have the key to Samaria.
And the mirror. So we can go in the back door.
Yeah. So we definitely have a lot of access, back up the mountain. Not that I think, after like the 6 or 7 trips already up the mountain, that's probably going to be that, incentivizing, since they do have a couple other things to do before then, but it is certainly going to be another avenue available to them. Yeah, and of course, Zelka, probably the happiest that you're ever going to see him, being able to single dip Eastern Palace. We actually also see that Zelga picked up a compass to Eastern as well, so we can definitely count along with him for all of the map items he's going to be able to get to here.
That's true. I mean, if you ever failed out of Sesame Street counting class right here, we can all count to 6 together today.
Yeah. Will also picked up the compass as well. I don't quite remember where it is, but yes, this is going to be very helpful. And honestly, we sometimes we do joke a little bit about being able to count. Compasses can surprisingly be very helpful, just in case you don't quite remember that you've gotten everything out of the dungeon.
Oh yeah, no, I mean we're kind of laughing about it right now because Eastern is one of those dungeons where you just go to the room. There's only one chest. It's pretty obvious whether or not you picked it up there. But like every once in a while, you hit a button or the item is so unremarkable that you immediately forgot that you got it, and then you're halfway through the dungeon. You're going, wait, did I open that?
Yeah, that's really never happened to people. No, of course not.
No, never more than once a day.
All right, Zelga, a little bit ahead of Will, doing a really nice bow strat here in Stalfos room. Of course, nice hook shot. Hey, you know what? Hey, there's a bow. There's a bow in Eastern in case you couldn't find the one in Skullwoods.
I mean, sure, why not?
That's exactly what you want to see, a bow in Eastern Palace.
I mean, if you already have one, then at that point, you're like, okay, cool, that's no problem, right? But I mean, at that point, yeah, you're all good. So, but moving on, we're gonna keep working our way back here. I guess Zelga's leading the way and showing us exactly what it is, and Will's desperately trying to catch up.
You can only really, hold, right and down as so hard, before your thumbs need a break or something like that. They are using, making very good usage of that hook shot, but unfortunately, Eastern Palace doesn't really have that many things you can kind of hook onto. Just because this is the palace that you do right before you get the boots, I almost think that it's kind of like a showcase, right? As to, boy, wouldn't you really like to have something that makes you go a little bit faster?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean. The other thing about this dungeon, like we kind of remarking on the lamp not really being important here. Now, I mean, it's not necessary for these runners by any means, but it is going to speed up it, especially this room that Zelga's doing here a little bit, because he knows exactly where this Igor is. He can just walk right up and kill him. Now, Will's gonna have to play a little bit of like sonar arrow work right here.
Yeah, little echolocation, potentially. He does have sword beams, so I don't know if that'll help him out a little bit, just because he does have a little bit of extra light. But yeah, I mean, you see in this case, how fast Zelga's made his way basically out of that room.
Yeah, the biggest thing with this sword beams is it clears the popos out of the way, and those things you never want a hero popo who just jumps in front of your arrow there at the last second. The moment that you've activated the Igor, and then all of a sudden the Igor is just bullying you. Like, you don't want that to happen. So if they're out of the way, they're out of the way. By the way, Zelga's done with Armos Knight.
yeah, that's a super fast kill. We get another Skullwood small key. Kind of interesting, actually. We actually got a lot of. I think we also just got one in the back of Zahashla as well. So.
Yeah. What is that? We're up to 2 Skullwoods keys at the moment here. I mean, 3 means Mothula is in logic there, as Will does successfully kill the Igor there, and he's gonna have another probably, I'd imagine, pretty quick fight.
Yeah. And Silver Arrow certainly, does speed up Armos quite significantly over regular arrows. With the extra pod keys though, and that mirror, Zelga is back in pod. I imagine that Will is going to do the same thing, but he is still missing that first small key to pod from the back of Skullwoods that Zelga didn't have. So I think he's still going to be a little bit short compared on the checks of pod compared to Zelga.
Yeah, I don't know. He's gonna go check Saha first. It looks like. But I imagine he's gonna go back to pod just because it doesn't get faster to get back here. But I could theoretically see him deciding that, you know what, I'm not going to go in there until I have a certain number of keys. Now, because Zelga's sitting here with, he's got 3. Ooh, it'd be a big deal for him to go back, though.
Yeah, so there is the Fire Rod, which, that's, well, we're talking about potentially if Will finds that Fire Rod, before the Lamb, which he's still, no, I guess it won't in this case, but if he doesn't go back to pod, he's definitely going to be missing out on both fire sources. He is willing to go back, so this is gonna be good news for him. He's gonna be able to get that lamp and hopefully the fire rod.
Yeah,
I guess we're gonna see.
Yeah, he'll definitely get the I think he'll get he's gonna use the key on the front door and he'll use the key on the back there as we get the big key to Swamp Palace there, locked behind 6 pod keys. I mean that's another one of those that you're happy to see, but at the same time you kind of go, yeah, all right, whatever.
Yeah, and it's not like we have the flippers right now anyway, so it's not like we can even really do anything in Swamp Palace to begin with.
Right. So Will, working way back, he's gonna pick up his 2 light sources.
Yeah.
In just a moment. And Zelga's gonna go ahead. Since we've got everything that we need for Thieves Town, it's time to find out if this is a crystal or gonna be our last pendant for the day.
Yeah, and given that we already do have knowledge of both two pendants already, one being Swamp Palace and one being the green pendant Misery Mire, chances are certainly going to be pretty high that Thieves Town is going to be a crystal, since there's only one more pendant outstanding. Yeah,
that's the thing though. We're down to 2 though. We don't know Thieves Town and we don't know Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're right. All right, you know what? I like my odds that Thieves Town is not a pendant. I hope. Although knowing of course the game, it gave us everything for Thieves Town so early, relatively speaking, in the seed, and of course, where's that Isotron, right? It might be a pendant.
Yeah, this 50-50. 50-50 is still pretty good odds, honestly. So I mean, we'll see exactly what pulls out here as Will works his way to the to get his thing here. He's not using the menu strats. Instead, he's using the select button strats there to get through. Still gets it done, no problems there. And there's our mitts hanging out in the attic chest in Thieves Town. So we kind of got some full access to the game now. Yeah. Right. So logically speaking, of course, the only thing that the mitts hard require, is King's Tomb. But if we don't still have boots either, so it's not like we can get that. However, though, Dace, your point of having full access, those mitts are an incredibly improvement in quality of life. You ever want to just like flute to 6 and like lift the rocks so you can get a desert faster? Well, now you can with the mitts. You couldn't do that before. Yeah, definitely. And shout outs to Recidador there, who pointing out something very important there, that those mitts are still flipper locked. So our flippers are somewhere that are not behind mitts. We have another pod key? Is that what it says? So does look like that was another pod key there, in blind cells. So we're gonna go from there. Well, we do have our peace of mind. The fire shield is certainly, quite nice timing in the fact that we are going to have to go fight blind. The fact that, we still have, 12 hearts, and, facing off against blind probably is going to be too big a deal for either both or Will. Or Zelga or Will, but, it's always kind of nice to have. Definitely. Well, into our blind fight over on Zelga's side here. This is, well, I think we've said this a couple of times before. It's 9 hits to take him out there. Scripted fight and something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zelga is staying on script. Meanwhile, Will bombing over the attic and pick up his mitts here.
And yeah. Yep, and there you go. We've got all sorts of other stuff there. As that is going to be our last pendant, so we're going to need an ice rod today, Clear Mouse. Got good news for you. Good news?
Yeah,
good?
I was gonna say good. How many quotation marks are around the word good, Days?
Not enough, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's just typical. We got the small key to Thieves' Town, we got the big key to Thieves' Town, we got the hammer. I mean, we just got everything. Surely, the game is not the game is just interested in letting our runners, have a longer experience.
Now, so the other thing, I mean, I saw chat kind of having fun there with the fact that mitts being locked there. It seems like a bigger deal, but then again, you kind of remember, oh yeah, this is inverted. Mitts, like you mentioned, don't really lock much, but they did also the flippers did also lock the mirror today.
Oh yeah, that's true, because we did find the mirror in Ice Palace. That is so these flippers must be showing up somewhere at some point, right?
Yeah, you would think that. And the other thing is like, okay, this is where you go, okay, so we needed 4 pod keys to unlock the fire rod. So, I mean, you start trying to put these together, and I'm kind of thinking there's a good chance that there's something in the first 4 chests of mire that we need.
Oh yeah, we got the hook shot super early. That is, either hook shot or a boots will get us a mire entry, and of course, Bombos, being the entry medallion. I think that was like, I don't know, check number 5 or something like that, and like the front 4 of Thieves' Town. So, yeah, looking actually pretty suspicious here.
And I'm seeing a couple of people mentioning that Turtle Rock's looking pretty good too, and that is right, because there's a lot of Turtle Rock keys that we have.
Yeah, we can go back up the mountain as well for stuff.
I'm sure both of these guys want to go back up the mountain immediately.
Yeah, we're at the just shy of the hour mark, and our mobility for the mountain has not improved in any situation since, like, I don't know, the 10-minute mark or something like that. So yeah, I can definitely see, Zelga or Will not really clamoring to kind of go back at this point.
True. I mean, I don't think either of these guys are in a huge hurry to do that, as Will picked up his pendant from Blind here, and he's going to be following Zelga into this super fun Moth fight.
Oh yeah.
Where Moth is going to definitely act normally and not take any damage for a whole bunch of hits.
That was quite the dance.
He's definitely dead though, so it's all good. And there's our Hyrule Castle key that opens absolutely nothing.
Yeah. We didn't get anything basically in the front of us cave. I think Dark Cross was also like a compass or something. A compass to swamp, and Soul to Cell was nothing. So.
Yeah, and that Skullwood's big key turns out, on top of everything, to just be 3 bombs. So again, that's not something. And it looks like Zelga's going, all right, fine. Let's head back up the mountain.
Yeah. I mean, certainly, it's very, at this point, it, has a lot of items that we, as we mentioned, right? You can get the front of Turtle Rock, we have the fire rod, so you can certainly get to like Roller Room and stuff. We have the mirror, so we can certainly backdoor all the way to Laser Bridge. We have a lot of options, basically, here up on the mountain.
Okay, now I got a question about a kind of a pedantic question here. Do we count mountain climbs if they're just through Paradox Cave?
Yes, I believe we should count everything up on the mountain as a trip.
Okay, then this is like 7.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so maybe, inverted, right? Not only do we play like the GT Big Key guessing game, right? We have to play like the number of trips, like we have to climb the mountain guessing game. I would not be surprised if it hit the teens.
Yeah, I hope not. Honestly, it would be amazing if we just kind of go up there. It would be amazing if we come up here this time and we grab like the Tower of Hera big key, Tower of Hera small key, ice rod. Just so that way we can just clear the entire mountain, not have to climb up again, and just everybody's happy.
Yeah, that's actually a very, very good point. You know, so for non-inverted keys, right, you always want to try and like save, you know, like Hera, Turtle Rock for last, just because, you know, you're already up on the mountain, you have to kind of like, you know, walk over to Ganon's Tower to unlock it, right? Well, inverted, you know, Ganon's Tower is actually where Hyrule Castle or Castle Tower entry is, so you actually want to do stuff like on the mountain before you head back down.
Yep. You want to try to get as much of it done as you can, because if you have to come back up later for the for Tower of Hera for any reason there, you hate every second of that walk. All right, and speaking of big key to Tower of Hera, there it is, sitting in the roller room chests there.
So I guess if you only find the Tower of Hera big key, are you gonna go back to Hera to try and get the big chest? Is that too hard of a decision?
If I'm Zelga, I don't know. I mean, he didn't go back for the Castle Tower second chest, right? So there, if he goes back for Tower of Hera big one, he can also mirror over and do the second Castle Tower chest. I think a lot of times this is going to be like, let's see exactly what exactly I get out of Turtle Rock, because I'm going to clear a ton of this. As how about a small key to Desert Palace over there on out of the Chain Chomp chest for Zelga.
Yeah, and you actually just notice that Zelga, you know, is very much keeping track of his keys. In this case, you know, he didn't actually have to go kill the Pokey, just because, you know, Zelga's actually demonstrating how part of the thing is that, well, we have the mirror, so we can actually just backdoor our way into Laser Bridge. So we actually don't need to spend time to kill that key, especially on Master Sword. Not terribly pleasant experience.
Oh, and I just realized I was looking at GT keys, not Castle Tower keys. They don't have a Castle Tower key to open that. I thought we picked one up, though, didn't we?
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna trust our tracker, Lady Laura Linda. I believe that, you know, if she didn't mark any on our trackers, then I don't think that I would like to say no.
I want to say we picked one up on Ice Palace in Ice Palace, but I may be completely wrong on that. Anyway, me being wrong on something like that is not a thing there. The sewers key was on Moth. I know that much. Now, this is an interesting route from Zelga there. Since he's got four Turtle Rock keys, he's kind of going the more vanilla-ish way a little bit. He's kind of doing a hybrid here. And going through that way, it's a little bit faster than kind of going up and through the mountain and up through Paradox Cave again, or up through you know, the fairy refill cave there if you want to get fancy.
Will giving us a reminder that he still has not checked Hookshot Cave, so he'll be with, you know, 4 items of nothing. Meanwhile, though, Zelga looks like actually we have something else now for us to do. He did pick up a book here on Laser Bridge. Another pod key. Where is that? Where's that pod big?
Oh, I mean, if it's a seed that that I have any part of, that pod big is gonna be buried.
Oh my gosh. Well, I guess like the good news is it can't be in GT, right? That's somewhere where I know we don't have to go search for it.
That is true. It can't be in GT. Almost everywhere else is completely game.
Yeah,
but...
that is true. Alright. Well, yeah, so, but the good news, it looks like, though, after Zelka's gonna come finish up, it looks like he's going to try and maybe get the vanilla big key chest. But yeah, we got a small key to desert, and we have the desert, and we have the Book of Medora, which is hard required, you know, today, because that is our only entry into Desert Palace. Non-like, you know, non-inverted, can't just kind of backdoor, you know, in the dark world with the mirror. You're gonna go through, you know, the front door like you were intended to go through.
Right. And it looks like this entire time we got a pod key out of this, we got the desert small, we got the book, and that's about it from this entire Turtle Rock dive.
Yeah, and of course, unfortunately, you know, no ice rods, which means that, you know, we are going to have to come back at some point to go kill Tridex. Zelga is still here up on the mountain. Is this Spike Cave play?
Yeah, maybe Hera Spike. I think it might be Hera
actually,
Spike.
Yeah, and then also, like we put on chat here, Ether Tablet now is also available with that book, and that is also a very excellent reminder. So it looks like we are willing to, forego Hera Basement at this point.
Hera Basement does not exist in inverted
yes.
Claymouse. It
Okay,
does
you
not
know what?
exist
You're right.
inverted.
The CR, total is always going to be 215 out of 215.
Yes.
So
Yeah, and if there is something in there, the game is not completable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just kind of what it is. There's a big key at Ether Tablet to Misery. Okay, so to Misery Mire. That's our green pendant. But I mean,
I was so hoping that would be like, yeah, actually, you know what? It would have been great if that was like the big key, to pod or something, right? It's like, oh, we got all these keys, let's go. Or desert, even for that matter, right? We got the small key, we got we got the book. We can basically go full that place.
Yeah, we'd have lots of things we could do there for sure. And all right, yeah. All right, I'm realizing the second time that Zelga was not actually doing Philly pot there. That looked like the kind of the old style setup there for this. But either way, yeah, he's getting through this without any problem. We're gonna hook shot over to this big chest, find a small key to the basement. Well, I mean, if you're finding it,
if you're going to get it, you're right. That is probably the best possible place to get it. I mean, imagine if you got it in Spike Cave, right? You are definitely not going back to Hera Basement.
Yeah,
but this is the one place you're actually gonna sit there in this basement for.
I mean, at that point, you just kind of go, all right, fine, sure.
Thanks, game. Yeah, thanks, game.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what it is. That's kind of just what it is. This happens occasionally, and in the game, you just kind of go, all right, thank you. That was lovely, and never do it again, please. All right, and Zelga is just currently waiting. Gonna walk off here and go find out what is this amazing thing in the basement.
The thing
Castle Tower key. Come on, Castle Tower key. Do it. Do it.
Oh.
Do it.
Oh. So close, man.
That would have been amazing.
Oh my god. Well, that's not really a key that Zelga probably, or Will for that matter, is gonna care about. But at least we have nothing left here on the mountain other than Trinex. We have no other checks.
Yep, and so that means we're gonna have to come back again at some point.
Okay, so we're just gonna, attack on additional one on the abacus here, or or the ticker, or whatever you're using to count, because we're definitely getting up there in numbers.
Will might have, yeah. Good call on his side there. He's gonna have to wait for these torches to go out before he continues on. I did not see it. What happened?
That was the ice rod and Spike Cave. We're going back up the mountain. Oh my god.
Are you joking?
Oh my god, that was the ice rod and Spike Cave. Oh.
All right.
Time
number 9 up the mountain today.
Oh my gosh. We were so close. We just went to Spike Cave first. I don't know.
We'll get there someday. Someday.
Okay, yeah. And this is every single mountain trip, by the way, has been no boots. So, at least we're done. After this, we have literally nothing left on the mountain at this point.
And Will not doing Spike Cave.
Yeah, but looks like also he has opted basically just not to West Death Mountain at this point. So, maybe he's basically just saving it. Looking at, he has the book. Desert Palace area certainly looks to be also pretty appealing.
Yep, true. The problem with that always is that if Ice Rod's your go mode.
Oh yeah, that's actually a very good point. Yeah, maybe Will is actually thinking, he's like, you know what? I need the Ice Rod to go kill Trinex. I'm gonna hope I found it, not on the mountain. So then when I go back up there, I can go kill Trinex, and then I can also take care of Hera, and Ether Tablet. Unfortunately, yeah, we just saw on Zelga's side that the Ice Rod is in a pretty dang rude location, which is up on the mountain.
Yeah. So like the going back up there, walking all the way over to Spike Cave, that's not a fun walk. Yeah, it's not really something you want to do, but that's a problem usually. Well, All right, on to Trinex here.
Yeah.
So we've only got Master Sword, so this is going to be a little combination of our rods and our hammer here. I'm not expecting Zelga to have too much trouble with this, but, you know, stranger things have happened.
Yeah. You know, certainly, you know, the fact that they... Oh my gosh.
Had to go into that last one there.
Yeah, alright, so Zelga's, you know, very nicely taking down Trinex. Will, though, you know, I guess he lucked out by coming into here in Desert because the big key to Desert is in the map chest of Desert Palace. So, you know, we're gonna be able to kill Lamppost today. Right now, on Will's side.
That was really convenient right there.
Yeah, that because, you know, if it's one thing about the randomizer, I definitely think convenience for our runners. Just like where that ice rod is, you know, in Spikegate, it was certainly very convenient that it was on the mountain, right? You know, Zelga's like, oh, I'm already on the mountain. What could possibly go wrong?
Silvers and Eastern, come on, there you go. Exactly. I mean, Mitts and Thieves Down. I mean, this is just normal or average seed with no craziness whatsoever, as Zelga took down Trinex without any problem, as was expected, and is on, what is that, Crystal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, hey, that's a pretty good progress. Hey, look, there are flippers to put everything in logic. What a location, by the way, for those flippers.
Okay, so you had to go into... So that was go into...
you have to go,
Rock.
Yeah, from the front, right?
Because, from the front.
Yeah, all the way, you know, in order to get the book, get to Desert, get the big key, apparently, that's just sitting inside the Desert map chest, and then get the flippers, and then you can go into Ice Palace logically and get your mirror. Wow. Right,
that's why we don't pay attention to logic, everybody. Right there, Clear Mouse just stated the reasons why we never, ever pay attention to logic.
Yeah, if we can basically take any shortcuts whatsoever, you know, we're gonna do that. Because, you know, if the seed wasn't already kind enough to basically reward, you know, both Will and Zelga, like, basically 9 trips up the mountain apiece.
Right. I mean, Will's got another trip coming up here pretty soon. Well, yeah. At some point, he'll have to head back up there, and it's just unfortunately for him right now. We do have the Swamp Palace small key with a whole bunch of other stuff, so there's a good chance that he'll be like, oh yeah, you know what? That's exactly where my ice rod is. And unfortunately, I think Zelga is just going to need a pod big, so if it turns out that if they both go to Swamp and there's a pod big in there, Zelga will be in go mode, and will still be trying to figure out where things are.
Yeah. Right, and you also mentioned, you know, Swamp Palace, you know, does have a lot of items, you know, that is available. You know, even though it's a pendant, there is also Mire as well. That's also available. Not, you know, but these are both pendant dungeons. But, you know, as you said, if we're missing the ice rod on Will's side, those are very viable locations that he is probably willing to go hunt for the ice rod in.
Yep, as Will takes down Landmo there with a couple of silver arrows, so he's on crystal number 5 as well. And yeah, I'm trying to think of things that the runners could do that's not Swamp, and yeah, the one that Will's doing right now makes a lot of sense here. Let's go check out Mire. With one key, the fire-locked chests are not in logic, and if I'm Will and if I'm feeling at all bad right now, I might consider skipping those. But I don't know if you are feeling bad with five crystals done in an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was actually just wondering that, you know, because, you know, kind of looking at both Zelga and Will, they've actually been making extremely good progress. They've really not been kind of like, you know, starved for stuff to do. I mean, we did have, you know, kind of a momentary, you know, dry spell kind of in the middle. We're trying to basically find stuff in, you know, when we first got to Light World. But I mean, there was just like nothing there, right? And then they got, you know, and now after basically a steady stream of progression items, you know, they're making really, really good progress in order to get their crystals.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the fun thing about Inverted is once you get through those first 2 stages of, you know, getting into Light World and then getting all of your items there, like the end kind of a lot of times turns into a dungeon rush. Like you know, Trinex is like, oh, I gotta slog all the way through Turtle Rock. It's like, no, you just gotta jump in and mirror and you're there. I mean, so, like, Turtle Rock goes from like one of the longest dungeons in the game, really annoying, to you gotta walk up the mountain.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah, and of
so
course, you know, yeah, and in some cases, of course, you know, for the, you know, in the somewhat more frequent cases of you having to kill, you know, Ganon for your like world access, save and quit basically gets you right to Ganon's tower.
right,
Mhm.
right, which is always kind of funny here. If you run into that situation there, as Will is going to go ahead and do these firelock chests. I don't blame him at all, honestly. I mean, you kind of part of this game is to not necessarily leave things behind.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
more
especially
things you
base
leave
area.
behind, the worse your day can kind of go.
Yeah. Yeah, and just kind of like a recap in this case, you know, for both Will and Zelga for standings. So, you know, Will being 5-0 has pretty much already clinched his spot in the brackets. He is basically just playing in this case, you know, for hopefully some seeding. Zelga needs to either win this race or the one that he's going to play against Broger on Saturday, and if he wants to basically, you know, have a chance at brackets.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, you definitely did not want to skip the firelock chest today. There's the big key to pod.
Oh, well, that is going to be Zelga's go mode then, it looks like. So, okay, so I guess, you know, if you are fans of Zelga, you definitely do not want him to pay attention to logic, not that he has, you know, too much. So, especially since he's over here, so looks like he is going to pick up his big key go mode very shortly.
So, what are we thinking here? So, that would be probably our... our pod small, or not our pod smalls, our Meyer smalls. They're sitting in Swamp Palace today. Is that probably what's likely? Because that's a three key lock chest right there.
Yeah.
All right. Will not having that Meyer big key because of the because he didn't go up to Ether tablet there.
Yeah, well,
But,
right. Yeah, we know, of course, you know, seeing from, you know, Zelga's side, the fact that he's going to be in go mode after getting this. Hey! Oh my gosh, dude! But Will is so okay. Will has the boots. We are finally going to be able to, you know, move fast and play the game. Is Zelga going to get the boots? Dazed?
Nah.
Oh my gosh!
No,
oh
he's
my
out of
gosh!
Here. He's out of here. I mean, okay, I gotta shout out a match that happened in this group a little bit ago between Will and Broger, where Will just decided never to pick the boots up off the pyramid and somehow ended up winning that. But now we've got the opposite case where Zelga's just not gonna get the boots and Will's gonna have them. He's gonna dash around, be all super happy that he's got these. Zelga taking the long route here, just kind of, I think this is just kind of one of those, well,
yeah. This is inverted? Right.
Yeah, not remembering it until you're halfway through the screen and just kind of going, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he probably realizes by now, but I mean, at this point, you know, you've already, you know, probably walked halfway over here, you may as well just kind of eat the cost.
Yeah, it's at that point, it's like turning around and walking back is going to be even longer, so.
Yeah, because Zelga, unfortunately, does not have the boots, you know, from Spike Chest in Meyer. And just, I mean, just kind of a consequence of, you know, which order of chest do you visit, right? He found his go mode before boots. He wasn't going to go back and check it, even though we know what was there and what he's missing.
Yeah, no, and in this case, we're going to kind of see a little bit about, you know, boots being, you're not going to get to see it a lot in this dungeon because just this dungeon doesn't really have a ton of places you can use boots, especially on the way back to Helmasaur here. There's a couple of places where you can kind of use it a bit, but
yeah. Yeah.
As you can see, they're basically, you know, they're almost in sync right now. And Zelga actually came in like a screen after Will.
Yeah. Well, right. So of course, you know, you can get, you know, Will, of course, can get like spin speed, you know, on when fighting Helmasaur. So it's going to be, you know, a little bit more liberal probably with hammer hits because they're going to be easier to land. You know, of course, Zelga, you know, having, you know, Master Sword probably isn't going to be, you know, as worried. Especially we also have Silvers at the end for phase 2. Nice turtles though on both sides. Very well done.
Wow. This is me remembering exactly that I have to move one one pixel to the left when I'm doing that from now on here because I just keep forgetting to do that.
You know, a good thing that Zelga's using, you know, the Twilight Princess sprite because, you know, it's almost as if you're just kind of watching yourself do this, right?
No, it's like watching someone much better than me do this. This is like, oh, that's how it's supposed to look. All right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're going through here. Both guys are smacking on Helmasaur's thing there. Take a silver arrow and blast him, and now we've got exploding bosses on both sides.
Yeah, and actually this is this is Zelda's 7th crystal. We're headed up to GT after this.
Yep, and
Wow,
unfortunately, yeah, unfortunately for Will, the Ice Rod hunt is about to begin, and that Swamp Palace is gonna look really nice right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially, since, we know that the Ice Rod is in Spike Cave, which is, next to Hera is probably one of the worst spots, to actually go back and visit. So Will definitely is going to try and find the Ice Rod before he has to kind of make that difficult decision of, okay, do I go up the mountain now? Or do I try and, do a couple more checks basically not on the mountain before I have to make that trip again?
Yeah, I mean, for Will, I'd like to say that he's got a shot here, but I mean, if you're choosing, oh wow, that's nice. I mean, that's nice, but it's not gonna help him at this point, because like, if all of the checks that you have left in the game right now, Spike Cave is not gonna be the one you make.
Yeah, unfortunately, you are correct, Days. For Will's sake.
Yeah, I mean, so this is unless something. Like act of God, sort of unforeseen power outage, sort of crazy thing happens on Zelga's side here. He's not gonna have a fun fight, because he's not gonna stop for a single thing in GT. Like, he is just gonna go straight to the thing there as we get our 6th pod key in pod.
Yep. Are we surprised? No, but yes. Well, all right. So we found all of the pod keys to put Helmasaur in logic.
Yeah, yep. So there is that. I'm gonna go check out what the big chest is here, and on Will's side, and then if you're rooting for Will, you gotta hope that he pulls the, Spike Cave and Inverted is not the hardest thing to get to, and I'd rather do that than go to Swamp. Oh my God. Game,
no.
What are you doing?
Oh no, poor Will.
Well, Zelga's not going to find another sword. But Will making the, unbelievably logical choice here. It looks like this is a Swamp Palace play.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Pyramid play. Maybe it's a Pyramid Fairy play.
This most likely is probably going to be Swamp.
I mean,
we certainly have hope. Never mind. We're all just going to watch Will do Pyramid Fairy. Never mind.
That's fine. I mean, that's
all good. It's all good.
Alright, Zelga's moving down to his, going down to just regular arrows here for a second there. Gonna take some of the lag away from these next couple of rooms here.
Yeah, and we're also kind of seeing, we do kind of make note of the fact that we don't seem to find boots very often, especially a boostless gauntlet. Is actually, quite difficult. Even more so kind of made, evident by the fact that we only have Master Sword on Zelga's side. But, the boots actually, make quite a bit of difference in terms of execution.
I'm just saying, he has a B.
You are 100% correct.
He has a B. That B could have just taken out like half of those first couple of rooms.
No, you are totally right. All right, compass to turtle rock and another heart container. Yeah, right. So we saw the 2 extra swords in pod, on Will's side, which we of course know that Zelga is going to be kind of stuck on Master Sword. But at this point, there's not going to be kind of anything else. I mean, maybe half magic might light up an eye or two, but I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't think there's going to be really anything that's going to make Will or Zelga happier.
Nah, yeah, it's half magic would be nice. I mean, you're gonna get that nice full magic drop there from the Wiz Robes, which is very nice coming up into this last couple of rooms here, because now you don't have to necessarily worry about magic or anything.
Right.
As Will is trying in vain to find this ice rod, and
Will's also showing us though that with the gold sword you can actually dash through those buzz blocks.
That's true.
Oh hey, boost checks. Imagine having these.
They do exist, and
yeah.
they have 20 rupees right now. And
Oh,
if I remember right, what was their name of their race room today? It was Clean Big 20. So there you go.
We're certainly gonna find a lot of those for sure.
Just a couple nice polished ones. You know, they're gonna be pretty. Zelga's gonna keep trying. Hopefully, he's like, I'd really love another sword because I mean, nobody likes doing Master Sword Ganon. I mean,
yeah,
if they can avoid it.
Right, and if you can, especially, if you can find a sword up here, it's going to save you so much time, right? And, we know, of course, that he's not going to be able to find one because we also saw both swords were in pod, but he doesn't know that, of course. But we did apparently cross the 2,000 rupee mark. I don't think Zelga ever went to Zora. So,
No.
he is basically, I think he has his retirement fund, and then, for this life and the next at this point.
And yeah, so yeah, no problem here. We'll gonna run up here to Catfish, which we have not seen either. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, maybe this is half magic.
Yeah, we don't have that much. Well, no, I guess yeah, we don't have that much left outside of maybe like smoke.
I got a key to Castle Tower, and that duck was just like, no, thank you. You can take one, not both.
I wonder if the duck was going to take the Castle Tower small key at that point.
Kind of looked like it there.
Close, yeah.
The duck's just like, yoink, thank you.
All right. Actually, I was going to say, though, like that, that Castle Tower small key might actually be good here for Will. I mean, I assume he is going to check the second chest here, but maybe that is going to be incentive for him to basically do the rest of the mountain here, which is going to be really good news. If he can, come over here, finish Hera, and then, do Spy Cave.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this would be really good for him. He's just going to show that gold sword in Aga Tower here is just hilarious to use. You can just completely go ham with that thing. Now, Zelga setting up these Samaria blocks to get some doubles on Ganon here.
Yeah, it looks like Ash is doing a pretty good job. Yeah, you actually bring a really good point. It's like you actually just see like the difference in offense, right? Will is basically killing everything in one slash in Castle Tower, and then poor Zelga here is doing his absolute best to try and get through basically phases 1 and 2 on just Master Sword.
He's in a really good setup.
He's doing a great job. Now. Yeah. No, I mean this is also quite it doesn't take a lot of practice in order for execution. Zelga basically did not demonstrate any of the consequences of of basically not having that block around, but like the knockback from these spins is it can basically knock you all the way to the other side of the room. So it's just like really efficient for Zelga to be able to use that Samaria block to keep him really close to Ganon.
Yeah, that's that was really well done there on Zelga's side here because he got through phase 2 really easily as Will finally picks up some blue mail.
I'm thinking that maybe we're not going to see the Pyramid Red mail today on Will's side.
It doesn't seem likely. We're into phase 4 over on Zelga's side. He knocks Ganon silly for a second there. He's going to set him up down in the corner here, and we're going to start pumping some silver arrows in there. We're gonna go for a tricky one there. Nah, I wasn't going to get the triple there, but the double into the 4th arrow there. And that's going to go ahead and do it for Zelga today. So go ahead, get your GGs into chat there for zelgadissan, who's going to take the win today on this race between Will WC and himself, and is going to book his ticket into the brackets.
Nice job. Yeah, get your GGs out in chat for Zelga.
And that'll be a time of, if I'm right there, looks like 1:30:16 on his thing. Pendant pod again? No, not today. As Will picks up his big key to Misery Mire.
Will is not happy seeing that big key.
Down. Will go down.
Close. So close. Looks like that we are actually here joined by our victor, and as you said earlier, Days booked himself his own spot for brackets. Zelga, GGs.
Hey, GGs. Thank you very much.
I like the Sprite, bud. I like the Sprite.
I believe also the MSU was also a good choice, Zelga.
Yep, Twilight Princess, which you may not have heard.
Yeah, unfortunately, we did have Will's audio the whole time, but yep. And now Will's going to get to enjoy that amazing Hera chain that you sat through a second ago.
That was pretty funny. Like, I don't know. I wasn't expecting the hair small. I wasn't expecting flippers in their big chest. There was a lot right in the last like 5 minutes before go mode that kind of threw me off.
I'm trying to think. You guys both. It was kind of funny because you guys both fake flippered into Ice Palace at roughly the exact same time, and I'm trying to figure out there. Was the Ice Palace basically a go modable dungeon, or was there something that I missed?
I'm pretty sure you did not need anything. Like, I'm pretty sure the mirror was not required at all. However, the Eastern Big, I think it was on Cold Stare, so you couldn't have go moded it unless you were really risking.
Ah, yeah, that's right. Okay. But yeah, no, well done on this entire seed there. You took down the whole thing in an hour and 30 minutes, and yeah, it looked pretty good. How are you feeling about getting through the brackets, bud?
Very relieved. This was a really stressful group to get through. I'm very happy to have come out. Whether that's first or second, I really don't care. It's just the fact that you're moving on is really all that matters here. So being able to take a win here feels really good, and a lot of confidence going forward.
Did you happen to find out where the boots location is, Zelka?
I did not.
Well then, if you were to so inclined to stay in Mire after the pod Bicky in the Firelock side, they were in the spike chest.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was never getting those. Honestly, I feel like I got very bailed out by the pod big. I ended up going there I was debating between Mire and Swamp, but I was standing right by Mire, and I thought there was a chance maybe Will would have done Mire earlier than I did. And in that case, I was thinking, well, I've only got one key, but if you're doing Mire earlier, you're definitely going to do the cutscene chest. So that's why I just kind of went ahead for it.
Yeah, it's kind of. I was making the case for like not doing the fire locked chests in Mire, because you guys only had one key for it, and then the seed just decided that would have been a terrible idea, because yeah, that turns out that's exactly where your go mode was there.
Yeah, I'm really curious where the other two end up. I'm assuming at least one is in Swamp at this point.
I'd imagine both, honestly, but yeah, it's yeah, it was kind of crazy there, seeing that thing pop up there. It's just the moment that popped up, and Will had jumped off the mountain before finding that ice rod. At that point, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, you've got this one well in hand.
You did a really nice job though on Ganon with Master Sword.
Very good
to see.
Thanks. Like, I haven't practiced it with. I've got a new controller about a month ago now, and honestly, it's like really stiff. I didn't feel too good with it. Like, I kind of lost a couple spots, I thought, but I mean, the core concept I felt pretty good about, and I mean, it's not something I practice all that often, so when I get the chance to do it, it's kind of neat. Although I'm admittedly jealous of this gold sword I see Will's got.
Yeah, Will found both of the swords in pod.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, because at that point, right? Yeah, at that point he was still missing the ice rod, right, after pod Bicky, and so yeah, he went back to pod and found nothing.
Yeah, you'll enjoy this, but so big key chest in pod. That's one sword. Harmless Hellweight in pod.
Yeah.
That's your 6th pod key, and then the big chest. That's your gold sword.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible.
That's pretty dumb. Yeah.
Yeah. I should have got one of those, honestly. I saved a key just because I was feeling like I didn't want to risk it. I should have had one of those swords by just risking either Harmless Hellway or the big key chest when I went in with 3, to be honest.
Speaking of terrible, boostless gauntlet is never pleasant, but I will say that Days did kindly remind you from 10 minutes ago that you have a bee available to help you out.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Do I actually?
You did. You
Zelga.
I yelled. I was very unhappy when you let loose that 1B, but I did understand since you were going into Ice Palace. I was like, okay, I understand. But then you picked up another one, you just never used it, man. Never used it.
Oh, see, I screwed up the Dazed cosplay. I'm sorry. That's
you
on
were
me.
close, man. I will admit to laughing my head off when I saw you guys starting screen there, and especially when I saw the spread I used there on your side. I was glad that Clear Mouse was doing the intro there, because I couldn't contain myself. I was very well muted at that.
It was really quite the treat to see, and you know, and the fact that you also did pick up, you know, blue mail and red mail. There was a lot of laundry going on with cats.
There absolutely was. Yeah, I'm glad you appreciated it. It felt like, you know, the least I love both of your guys' commentary, especially when together. So I figured the least I could do is throw a nod your way. I really appreciate it.
I mean, you know, this was actually a pretty, you know, interesting race to commentate for. So I mean, obviously, you know, you and Will are both, you know, very excellent runners. But, you know, it's always a treat to be able to commentate for you.
Will doing his typical Mimics 2 strat of going around the block there, that kind of like ring around the rosy strat there. It works real well. I haven't seen anyone else do it, but I mean, I don't think I've ever seen him miss that. So, you know, if it works, don't mess with it a lot of times.
Okay, so Zelga, it's okay if you don't necessarily know, but if you know offhand, so this win does put you like a secure place for brackets. Like if you win on Saturday, does that give you like tiebreaker positions or?
Yes, actually. If I win on Saturday, that would give me first place in the group.
Okay.
Due to tiebreakers.
Sorry.
Okay, at least somebody did it. At least. But yeah, we would have matching records, and then at that point, it would go to the qualifier seeding.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So actually, right. So then for you, like you actually have still like the Saturday race is actually so pretty important for you, right? Because you want to, I assume you want to basically try and get a top seed.
It would be nice, but the more important thing was qualifying.
Oh, today.
So,
Yeah.
So if that doesn't happen, I will be perfectly happy with that. It'll just be like a little cherry on top.
Yeah, you definitely did not. This group was not easy. It was probably difficult AF.
Yeah, very well named. Yeah, the people in this group, I knew it was going to be rough as soon as I saw them. Well, we all knew we were in the group at the end because there was no one left. So I can't even say when I saw the drawings, but I knew it was going to be tough going through. Very happy to have come out of here. I know Brogor and Rambler both are really good runners, and I think in just a couple coin flips, like I'm pretty sure both the races with Rambler were basically like one decision away. So, I mean, this could easily have gone the other way. So, yeah, like you said, just a very tough group, and I'm really happy to be moving on.
I mean, the fact like 128 every year, you know, it sounds like a big number, but it's like the people who don't make the 128, I think are already, you know, there are a lot of scary names out there, and then you know you look at people who are advancing to the top 64 or 32. And like the people who are not advancing, it's just like the skill level, you know, for the entire community is just grown so much. Like it's not a lot of people. Like,
oh, absolutely. Like if you just look at some of the names of people that were in Challenge Cup, just because of the whole 128 of qualifiers just being that brutal in the first place, and then like people that you would expect could easily be in this, and honestly, maybe it's a couple results away. Should be in the top 128 that are going to be in Challenge Cup. There's just so many great runners in this community, and it keeps growing every single year. It's really awesome to see as someone who's been in the community for a while. Just the constant, nonstop growth and new names coming in and challenging the old timers.
I've got to put Will on blast there for his Moldorm 2 there. He was like, I'm gonna dash at Moldorm, and he dashed right into the pit.
Yeah, I believe he has done that actually before. Whether it was in qualifiers or one of his previous races, he's definitely has done that before. Oh, poor guy.
But yeah, I completely agree with what you were saying there, Zelga. I mean, like your group shows it. Like, Will was the 4th qualifier in your group, and then he went 5-0 to start it. I mean, that's a that kind of just shows you, like, you there was not any sort of easy races in this.
Absolutely. Yeah, like, if you just see some of the names of, like, people that were in that, like, 4th quartile or whatever, it doesn't matter where you placed. Everyone's just really, really good. Like, I know, I think Ravis was, like, barely a 3rd qualifier, and he won a qualifier sub-hour.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's insane how good people are, regardless of the quote-unquote seeding here.
Yeah, I think several runners probably, shares your sentiment about, I don't care where I qualify, so long as I qualify. I don't care where I place, so long as I make it to brackets, type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at this point, it's literally just about survival. It really doesn't matter where you place. You're going to be playing a monster every single game.
Brackets look terrifying.
Maybe we'll get a rematch between you and Will. Maybe a match between Dazed and you. If you happen to use the Twilight Princess sprite again, I don't think we can tell you guys apart. So.
Well, you can watch for bees.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
That could be it. No, I think if me and Zelga play, I've got to play as Phoenix Wright, and he's got to play as Zelda. Just confuse the living daylights out of anybody trying to commentate that match.
Well, thank you, Daze. I feel outed. So I guess I'm curious. Also for probably you, Dazed and Zelda. So like you guys are done with groups now. Are you gonna I guess practice anything more between like now and when brackets start? Just gonna kind of chill out for a bit. Any thoughts about that?
I mean, honestly, this is the mode that I feel I would need the most practice with. I've been kind of an outspoken dissenter towards inverted, so I feel like this is the one I should probably be practicing, but I don't know if I'm going to do it because then I'd have to play this mode more, so we'll see.
Oh, well, Will's finally gone ahead there. He took down Ganon. And went ahead and crossed the line there with a 143.48. So go ahead, grab your GGs into chat there, and hopefully he'll be jumping up here to join us in just a second, and we can talk about his amazing Moldorm fighting skills. And
we can talk about how he released the bees to help him in Ganon.
He did release the bees, so he's back in my good graces there. There is the bee master himself, Will WC, coming to us from Sioux Falls. How you doing there, bud?
GG's, Will.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry to let down all the fans here in Sioux Falls today that have been, coming up to me on the street. But GG's, Zelga.
Yeah, GG's, man. This was a fun group.
Yeah, definitely. And my apologies to Brogor, who I promised that I would do my best to win tonight. Just purely out of the niceness of my heart to try and keep his hopes alive in the group, and not because I wanted to go 6-0 or anything like that. So, GG's.
You both play the seed very well. It just happens to be the ice rod was in a pretty awful location. And I think it was also very reasonable for some divergence at that point. Zelga decided to do the rest of Hera and West Death Mountain, and you went to I think Meyer at the time. I don't remember where, but you left the mountain at that point.
Yeah, I think I went Meyer after that. The biggest and that was it's not great, obviously, that I left the ice rod there, but I think it kind of stemmed from a mistake in my TR routing there, where I realized I was going to have to loop back around to get the big chest when I should have just gone in that entrance. And I think if I do that, then I feel a lot more motivated to go back around and clean up the west side of the mountain there. As it was, I was able to get, the 10 items that I did from TR, and then I was just like I'm going to have to do another loop around the mountain just to get the big chest. Then I'll have to do another loop around to go over and do Hera, Spike Cave. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I'm going to take my chances. And if it's there, then so be it. And it was there. And so be it.
Yeah, I mean, it at some point though, you're gonna make a skip, and yeah, especially on the mountains, like you mentioned, just we were joking about it at one time. I think Zelga ended up with 9 climbs today. At
Yeah,
one point.
something like that.
Yeah.
And he did all 9 of them without the boots.
Yeah,
So at least I had that.
yeah, that's true. You got that last climb of yours was much faster.
Yeah.
And Gold Sword.
And Gold Sword. Imagine not having Pod Big Go mode.
Mm.
If you had just told me that the boots were like 5 chests later, I would have kept going.
Next time I'll tell you. No, it was. I mean, it was a fun seed. I had, the one early Goofin pod that did not come back to bite me at all, which I was expecting it to. But yeah, I mean, I was pretty happy with my routing overall. Certainly some opportunities for skips earlier in the seed that I could have taken that would have worked out. Things like Iced Tea and a few other places. But, overall, I tried to play it pretty thorough, and then I kind of got messed up by my TR routing up there on the mountain. If not, then this is probably a closer race. I doubt that I make up enough time to win it, just given how the end of the seed played out. But, certainly I cut out a lot of checks there late in the seed, including Meyer and, the route up to Pyramid and cleaning up the boots checks, things like that. So it's the way it goes.
I'm impressed you stayed out of Swamp. I mean, honestly, like there.
And that was, the thing was I made the decision there. I was like, that's going to be my skip. I'm going to try and skip Swamp. And, at that point, I'm go -1 by the time that Swamp becomes an option for me. So it's like, that's going to be like the density play that I think Zelga might go for in that situation. Because as far as I knew, Ice Rod was anywhere and not something that he had found well before me. So, my think was that Swamp's going to look mighty appealing to him. He's going to be, if he clears out the front 8 or clears out the fast 8 chests and then, has to make the left side Swamp decision, that's fine. I want him to make that decision, and if it pays off for him, great. But I want him committing that 6 minutes to Swamp or whatever, and I want to try and clear up everything else that I can. So that worked out at least. It was just, leaving the Ice Rod up on the mountain there, obviously, it was just, the way it goes. As I told Zelga in the race room, for the first time ever, in Rando history, I am missing an Ice Rod for Go mode. So, it happens.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, you were absolutely right. Like, if it hadn't been Meyer, I was going straight to Swamp. So
yeah. Yep, so that was, that was the hope there, and sort of right, sort of wrong.
Well, I guess you're gonna have to wait till Saturday there to figure out to find out exactly where you fall in the bracket stages there, Will. But both of you guys are in now, so now you guys, there's I imagine quite a bit of relief, there from
Definitely.
you both.
absolutely.
Definitely. I caught the end of Zelga's comments, but seeing this group, Brogor was, I think, a number or a top rank or top quartile qualifier last year, if I remember correctly. Rambler, I believe, went 4-0 in groups last year in the main tourney. So, there's already a track record with those two, and then the Zelga guy, I hear he's pretty good, but I don't know what credentials he has.
I don't know. I mean, I was looking over the group and I see Will just coming through with like, why is someone so good down in that 4th group? Because like I said, everyone's so good. There's no such thing as an easy out here.
Yeah, definitely. So, getting through it 5-1 is getting to 5-0 was already well above my expectations for this group. My aspirational goal when we started this was to try and my goal was to take one off of Zelga and then go 3-1 for the rest of the group. And then taking one off of Zelga in the very first day of the tournament and then getting through the rest of the group 4-0 was obviously like, okay, well, we're just, playing with house money at this point, and, wherever I end up getting seated in the brackets, whatever, it's going to be, I'm going to be playing a gamer no matter where I get put.
It's like under promise, over deliver, something like that. Yeah.
Sure.
No, this was, always a pleasure. You guys put on a phenomenal race. Really, even you, Will, even at the end of Moldorm 2, did play very well. I would say today. Sorry about not having the boost though, Zelga. It's kind of unfortunate. But we are, we probably should, wrap things up in the next minute or two. You guys have any final thoughts? Always really, always just such a pleasure to be able to commentate for you two. It was just a phenomenal race. You guys are both very excellent runners.
Yeah, I would just say GG's again to Will. Happy to split a series. And thank you, Clear Mouse and Days Cloud, and Lady Laura Linda for handling the back end of this. Really appreciate all the taking the time out to kind of help us. And
indeed, I'm glad we're gonna finish with that cat and
laundry
doing the laundry. Doing. Yeah. So, but thank you guys both for commentating. Lady Laura Linda, thank you for tracking for us tonight. And we'll let you guys wrap it up.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I also want to shout out our awesome tracker, Lady Laura Linda. She is phenomenal, really, really supportive. Thank you so much for doing our tracking. Days Cloud, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to be talking with you. And this was, not only for good people, it's also a really good race.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and Clear Mouse, as always, a pleasure. Lady Laura Linda, also, thank you again.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, other than that, we'll see you guys here sometime else here. We got another race coming up in, I guess, 7 minutes from now. It's going to be Wall Kicks and Kaysden here on this channel. So literally don't change the channel.
Like, yes, just to stay right here.
Don't do anything else. Just go get yourself another drink. Come on back. All right. Make sure that your cat's not doing the laundry. But other than that, it is gonna be we got tons more rando action here. So yeah, don't go anywhere.
Yeah, until then though, we will see you another time. But yeah, more rando right here, right now in 6 minutes. See you then.